And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Badly Developed Podcast. This is Funko. I'll be your host. I'm with Gennifer, and we're going to talk about everything games.
Yay, games.
Yay, games. How are you?
I'm a little pooped, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a while since we did a podcast. You've been playing a couple of games.
Yeah.
I've been playing nothing new.
Nothing new? No, you played something new, and we're going to talk about it.
Oh, boy. So last time, I led the conversation. You get the first hit on the questions.
Okay. Well, I have like a big question, but I also have a couple little questions that I want to ease things into with. The first one actually is just talking about the games we're playing. You convinced me to buy Hunie Pop 2.
Okay, first of all,
let's back up.
Okay, we need to back up over here. Okay. Okay, back up. I did not convince you to buy Hunie Pop 2.
Maybe I convinced myself.
You convinced yourself. I bought a Hunie Pop 2 with enormous regret. Just immediately. During the buying phase, clicking the proceed button, add to cart, everything about that transaction was as degenerate as I get.
Yeah.
And I bought Hunie Pop 2 because of how much I liked Hunie Pop 1.
It was a very good game.
It was. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they did...
Like, not even from a plot standpoint, just from, like, a gameplay standpoint. It was good.
I mean, it was a simple puzzler.
Yeah, but they're fun. They scratch an itch. It's like Sudoku, you know?
It's just like a puzzler with a great reward.
Yes.
And now we're at Hunie Pop 2.
Yes.
And it sucks.
I disagree.
I completely disagree with your disagreement. I don't get how you don't like. I mean, it's not like the game is bad, but there's several things about it that I just can't get behind. I don't know why.
You said it was like needlessly complicated, right?
That's just one of the things.
And that you don't like.
I was actually I was sitting.
And that you weren't a fan of the girls.
Okay. No, that's the second thing.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're touching all bases here.
I think the third thing is that it just didn't remind me of Hunie Pop. I didn't see when I played Hunie Pop. It was a game where you're a dumb nerd and then you learn how to bang. And that's really cute and fun. It's like a little dive into their world story, you know, a little role play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get all these cute little girls, and it's great. You know what I mean? Hunie Pop 2, just right out the bat, right? Like, there's no chase. You just get the tang, and just...
You're just very good at it
It's
already.
so easy to get the tang. I remember in Hunie Pop, you, like, had to go through so many hoops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To finally get to that,
God damn it.
So it feels like you really earned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this one is just like, second date, we're ready to fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I must be a fucking stud by now. And they're saying that you're a stud, but I am not feeling like a stud. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Oh man, yeah, it was just too fast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I banged too fast. I didn't even get to learn about the girls. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, I have a question. Was the first girl you banged the girl from a previous game?
What do you mean?
Cause okay, so my experience playing, like my favorite girl was the first one I banged on the airplane, right? And like I felt like I had already built that rapport from the previous game, so it kind of translated over.
Yes and no, because first off, it's been a couple years since I played Hunie Pop, so I don't have that fresh off the game feel that maybe you had.
Yeah. Where
like, ooh, that was my favorite girl. Now I'm banging her again. I feel like I earned it. No, I definitely was playing Hunie Pop 2 and I banged her and I was like, okay, that's a cool tutorial, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. You know what I mean? She's an old character. I can recognize that. What I'm talking about is that I got off a plane, I talked to the girl that I like, met her partner, left to do another mission, came back and banged her.
Yeah.
Just immediate. Like, penis in the vagine.
Or vagine on the vagine.
It was the vagine on the vagine with the splooge. This is an R-rated podcast now.
Oh, yeah. We knew that coming into this. I was already totally prepared.
Yeah,
I mean, we had to. Everyone I know is playing it right now.
But what in Hunie Pop, it took 4 days. It took 4 days to bang someone because you have to take them on a date.
Yeah.
And then the 4th date has to happen at night.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. That was a really good detail. I liked that. Like,
you can take 3 dates a day. You know what I mean? But in this, I'm like, bang them everywhere. Aquarium. You know what I mean? Like, in the pool.
I think the assumption is, and you might not like it, but the assumption is that, like, everyone's here on vacation. It's like Love Island. You know that fucking thing that everyone's playing? I hate Love Island. The gist is, you've played Hunie Pop, you've built the rapport, and now you're ready to fucking get it on 24/7.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying, it's a different game.
It's a different game. It's not the game I wanted, I guess.
It's not a dating sim.
I was down for, like, Hunie Pop 2 with all these new mechanics. It's just going too fast for me.
That's fair.
Call me a traditional guy, you know what I mean? I gotta wine and dine the girl. I don't even have time to wine and dine these girls. My bad. Hey, the alien girl already knows that we should be banging. You know what I mean?
Wait, what alien girl? I haven't gotten that far, so.
Not the alien girl, but like the spiritual, like.
Oh, the one who knows what's up.
Yeah. The weirdo one, right? Yeah. You know how there's weirdo ones in the original?
She kind of reminds me of people on the beach in Santa Cruz. Sorry.
The point is, it's just like, it's so geared to, like, doing these double dates and getting the bang on. It's just like, it feels like I'm splooging so fat. You know, I want the sex to be nice and comfortable, not rushed.
Well, you don't really get that with 3-ways though. This isn't even centered around romance. It's a 3-ways.
What do you know about 3-ways? First of all,
it's just.
Where is this experience coming from? Where you can go like, well, you don't really understand how a 3-way. It's just a hunch,
but like with 3-ways, it's more.
No. This is so weird. You've been trying to convince me all week. This like, you know how 3-ways are gonna go down. I'm like, what the heck? Get out of here.
No, the only point I brought up before was that, like, the gameplay is more complicated, right? Mm-hmm. And part of the reason it's more complicated is because you're trying to balance your attention between girls.
And so, like, I have no problem with the gameplay being more complicated, right? I told you that. As a Hunie Pop 2, it's only natural that the gameplay will get a little harder. You know what I mean? So they added this stamina mechanic, and I think that's fine, okay? But they didn't really measure how much of an impact that already has on Hunie Pop, right? Because adding a block and a puzzler is huge. It's infinitely 10 times harder. You know what I mean? Like, you have less space. You know what I mean? For the puzzling, for the connecting of the things.
Well, there's
and
less
then
options.
On top of that, they got the baggage system, which is just like, okay, that's more trouble. And I get that. Yeah, well, it's only natural that the next game. But why are there so many, like, additional new mechanics in the game that are, like, making it, like, very hard? Like, oh, man, I had this terrible combination too, and granted, I still beat it. But it was the emo girl or the goth girl with the spiritual girl, the girl with blue hair and the goth one. And so the goth one was like, I'm never happy, so I can't match Joy Cons, like,
she doesn't get
to
points
make more turns, right? And then the other girl is like, oh, I hear ringing in my ears.
So she can't match the bells either.
No. So bells don't even drop.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, wow, I'm really messed up on that. And it's just like, they really want you to prepare for the battle that's going to happen. You know, it's how I'm interpreting it. Like, back in the Huni Pop, you kind of like have your favorite combinations.
Yeah,
you know,
your
of items
together.
You know, the items that you like and they work together well. And you just blast a girl away. But then this one, you gotta cater it to each girl.
Yeah.
And especially when, like, it's a different combination of girls, you always have to edit your items. And I'm starting to get that. But, man, that's annoying. Like, too much puzzle, not enough roleplay is actually what I'm having a problem with the game. The game is too much puzzle, not enough roleplay. There you go. That's exactly what's wrong with this game. Too much puzzle, not enough roleplay. I can't feel like the guy. I'm not in it. I'm not banging those 3 girls. I guess
I'm just surprised because, like, between the two of us, you played way more puzzle games than I have. You know?
Well, yeah. Look, I'm not having trouble with the puzzle game. I just don't want to work so hard.
I guess so.
You know what I mean? Huni Pop was so, you know, nice. You know, it was like, it was hard enough. And at the same time, you know, easy enough where I can just, like, turn off my brain and be a degenerate, you know, and just enjoy it. So now, when I'm beating these puzzles, I'm, like, so wired with my brain just going, like, oh, no, I don't want to look at boobies. I don't want that reward when my brain is just, like, off the hinges trying to, like, find the lines. Like, no, I can't deal with that. You know what I mean?
I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, I've enjoyed it. Maybe it's because I don't have a lot of experience with puzzle games.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's a good addition so far. I need to play more. But
yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, to be honest. Like, I'm not really...
You are. You're a completionist.
No. What?
Yeah, you do. You finish games.
No.
Like Monster Hunter?
Okay.
You gotta go 100%.
That's because I loved Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter was a fun game. I wouldn't say it's good. But it was good enough. Good enough to hold my attention, like, have a good time with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, this game, it really kind of, like, turned me off at the start.
Okay.
You know, like, I think a lot of people, when they play Monster Hunter, right, and they get destroyed for the first time by a Rathalos, because he's the first, like, annoying dragon that flies, poisons you, just messes you up, you know? They quit. But I never had a hard time fighting the lower monsters, so I kind of was able to translate that into, like, continuing to play Monster Hunter until the end game, and that's when it really gets kind of, like, fun, collect the materials, get the final build, do the most DPS. It's just, like, and that's where, like, the fun for Monster Hunter really was for me, was, like, ooh, here's a new monster, what new item set combinations or armor set combinations am I going to be able to wear?
Yeah.
And just make my guy that much better. But the problem is like, I never got that negative initial start, and unfortunately, Huni Pop 2 really kind of gave me that, you know? I don't know, maybe I had high expectations for Huni Pop 2.
Maybe. It was pretty hyped, you know?
You know, like, I'm really not, you know, I was also disappointed by the launch. Like, I had to find it through a Humble Bundle. Like, I didn't feel like I got, like, boom, you know what I mean? Like, I heard about Fall Guys, I've heard about Among Us, but no one was talking about Huni Pop 2. And I was, like, thinking, is it because an R-rated game, you know, with nudie boobies? Like, should we not be talking about it? But no, we've been talking about, you know, Ishoka reviewers, or I don't know what the name is. Isekai, I don't know what is that anime called?
Oh shit, the hentai reviewers.
Hentai reviewers, yeah.
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that was a hyped anime, so, you know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, I did most of the hyping.
Well, no, like, you heard that from everybody.
Oh, that's true. But there was, like, that's because there was a lot of drama around it.
But Huni Pop is gonna have a lot of drama about it. But anyway, the point is, even Alpharad released a video today. It wasn't Huni Pop 2. He bought Huni Pop 2, but he ended up playing Huni Pop 1
But Markiplier's playing Hunie Pop.
I don't watch
like
Markiplier.
People, I don't either. I'm just saying, it is being talked about.
The point is, in my circle, no one's saying anything.
Okay.
You know?
Well,
I guess. You know, like, in what I value, the people that I like to watch and stuff like that, no one's talking about it. And I think, like, that's just more negative to my already, like, negative perception of the game that's preventing me to continue on that journey.
Maybe.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Well,
which is why we play Minecraft so much.
I'll keep you updated.
You know? And why Andrew doesn't play Minecraft. Yeah, because remember, you and I, we had a good time with Minecraft when we first started. But Andrew, we dragged him into a PvP match where he didn't know what to do, and he really got destroyed a lot and just wasn't having it.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what you guys did to me. But I got over it.
Yeah.
So.
But we also did fun stuff with you as well. So maybe, you know, how Andrew, I think it's important to have a good impression, which is also why it's, like, hard to develop games, you know? You have this, like, it's kind of like a marketing strategy almost, right? Yeah. You play a game and it has to have a good hook, you know what I mean? Or else you're going to drop it, you know?
Well, yeah, you have to have a good first experience to build up that whole nostalgia.
Because you could just drop it in a second if you have a negative experience and you won't give the rest of the game a try. Yeah. Because you can have, like, a really good, like, late game or mid game.
Pretty sure that's what happened to me with Terraria, to be honest. Yeah. Like, it happens, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to ask you about, we might not have time to get to the main topic. Mm-hmm. But I was just really curious because I know we just watched the Nintendo release, right? You got really excited about the Mario Golf game. And I never had an experience with, like, Wii golfing or Wii Islands or any of that. So I'm wondering if you think it's going to be successful, if it looks like a good game. What are your thoughts? Okay,
let's start with something after it. Gennifer, I just love golf games.
Even, like, the PGA tours?
No. I just like interesting golf games. I don't know. I used to play a lot of golf games when I was a kid. I didn't play, like, GTA Tour or anything, but I remember playing, not Mario Golf either. I just remember playing, like, a regular golf game on, like, Mini Clip. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I would just play it, and it was just fun to me. I don't know what about getting a ball in a hole. It's just amazing.
And you played that other golf game that was super zany on the PC. What was that thing called? It was a little bit ago. It wasn't too long ago.
Oh, you mean What the Golf? Okay. I think so. Yeah. So, like, I have this, like, weird history with golf games where I really like them, right? Like, you know me, in real life, I love golf. You know, I used to play golf when I was a kid with Uncle Paul.
Okay.
I love mini golf. You know, mini golf was the jam. It's always a fun activity to do with a lot of friends. And, you know, I'm all about fun activities to do with friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, just always been into golf. So, like, seeing Mario Golf, I never played the original Mario Golf Tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, disc golf, anything like that, I always find fun. Okay. And then that free-for-all Mario Golf version that they just showed off, that sounds awesome to play with a big group of people, you know what I mean?
Like where you run to the golf ball and
that way no one's on downtime, everybody's having fun, you can bump into each other, that's crazy.
So do you think it's almost like Mario Kart but with a golf ball at that point?
Yeah.
Like you get a
I was hoping so bad for a Mario Kart announcement. The Splatoon 3 announcement, I was like, oh, that's so, I don't care.
Yeah, but it definitely has an audience and a fan base.
Yeah, well, the problem is I did not expect Splatoon 3. Like, Splatoon 2 is way more recent than Mario Kart. The Mario Kart that came on the Switch was a port.
Oh, yeah, it was a port from the Wii U, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Oh.
But Splatoon 2... that's not a port. That was made for the Switch.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, I was hoping for something a little bit more from the, you know, the Direct. But, it's okay. I'm trusting Nintendo. They've never disappointed me. You know what I mean? They've only disappointed me in the lack of work that they can produce. But when the work comes out, it's always a shining, beautiful, polished piece of ass. You know what I mean? And not some dookie turd like Cyberpunk.
Like Cyberpunk.
You know what I mean?
Oh dear.
Like,
back to Cyberpunk again.
But you know what I mean? Like, I can trust them. I trust that they know what they're doing. I mean, they have the fucking balls to like put Aonuma up there and just literally say, I know you guys are really hyped for Breath of the Wild 2, but you're not gonna see anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here's Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword.
But Breath of the Wild 2, I know you're hyped, but we're working on it, and I'm not gonna release it until it's ready, you know, and I respect that, you know what I mean? As a game developer, as someone who understands, like, taking your time to make the perfect game, like, you really can't underestimate how long a game can go. Like, it could take 10 years, it could take 4 years. A board game that has the simplest mechanics could take 10 years to make, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Crazy.
It makes sense. It's all time being spent making the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Except for in my case, I just kind of jerk around a little bit.
You're a little punk, though. All right, so I guess we'll get on to my main question of the day then. I feel like ever since you moved up here, it's been like 3 months now?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've been branching out a lot, you know?
Okay.
Just as a person, trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that's made you a better designer, a game designer, you know? Do you feel like doing all these things has kind of shaped the way you think a little bit, or do you think it's more of a distraction? These heavy-hitting questions. So good, but I'm so curious. We never talked about this.
I think yes and no.
To which one?
To both questions.
Oh dear.
I think enriching your life is important. It gives you better perspective. Stardew Valley. The man went on vacation. You know what I mean? And got, like, inspiration to do Stardew. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, yeah. Went on
I didn't know
vacation. That's where that whole Tropical Island with the DLC came out.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And then he like took his surroundings of like living in I think Washington State, of like foraging mushrooms and stuff like that, and how the trees were to like really inspire Stardew Valley.
Okay.
And I feel like that's because he experienced life. You know, you experience life, you make a good game, especially a game about life.
That is fair.
You know. But at the same time, sometimes it's just, you know, you just gotta make your game. You know what I mean? Like, experience is great, and it's always, like, a supplement. But sometimes that game's not gonna need that supplement, and it just needs what it needs. The time, the baking process, you know? The making and the bacon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's important to have a well-balanced life for your body. You know what I mean?
Okay. So not as a game designer, but just as a person.
Yeah. If you want to be a game designer, I don't think you need, like, to be well-versed. But the things I'm doing, it's more than just to be well-versed. It's to be a healthy human being.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to... I was going to make this terrible joke. But I don't want to be, like, panting when I'm typing down code. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta make sure that
dying of diabetes.
You know what I mean? Like, my back's not aching. You know, like, that's just distracting from the game that I'm making, you know? I gotta keep myself healthy, you know? If I have to go to the doctors every day and, like, they're telling me that I'm dying, that's taken away from the game.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess the reason why I ask is because, like, I've been listening to a lot of architecture podcasts lately, you know? And one of the points that they always try to make is like, oh yeah, you gotta go experience the world.
Yeah,
see
you gotta
all
go
the
travel.
Things, travel, you know,
you gotta
see
go
Rome.
See all the architecture.
But the thing, or even just like studying little details and sketching. But the thing I don't understand is like in that industry, there's no time for that.
Yeah.
There's no time. If you're working like 60 hours a week and you're killing yourself for your job, and like where's the line, I guess, you know, between working hard for your craft and experiencing the world to make your craft better?
See, architecture is a lie. It's a lie. They want you, they go like, ooh, we want you to explore the world. But all they're talking about is that when you're in college, you go on a trip. Get amazed and inspired, because that inspiration is going to make you live through the next 10 years of hell. You know what I mean? And you're just going to be dreaming, oh, I can't wait to, like, build what I saw in another country. You know what I mean? But it's all the bait. You know what I mean?
Bait.
They're just trying to like get you
hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, they're just trying to get you to motivate yourself because you know what I mean.
But would you argue that game design's similar? Where like from what I've seen,
well, then,
from the game design curriculum in college, the one I went to, like they'll release these awesome resources to you, let you do all these crazy videos that are all your own. You can have control over everything, but like then when you go public and you're looking for a position or something in game design, like you're just doing the grunt work for a while. So I mean your experience is different because you didn't go to school and now you're doing things independently. But
I think the big thing to know is that some games are going to need grunt work, and that's the unfortunate truth of games. It's just you're going to write spaghetti code, basically. You know what I mean?
Spaghetti code.
But I think I'm going to be honest. When it comes to my game design philosophy, you can have as much code as you want to make it as clean as possible. But if the game sucks, it sucks. You know what I mean? If it's not well thought, if it's not well written, if it's not a great concept, it's going to be trash. You know what I mean? You can have amazing code, well written, easy to understand, easy to manipulate, garbage game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the big thing about games. Everybody can code. Everybody can teach themselves to code. You can't lie to me. You can learn to code.
Oh, it's like
you
learning a new language. Yeah.
It's
like
language.
Rosetta Stone, but you get your C++ book or something.
But everyone has their own unique creativity. You know what I mean? And that's something you can't teach. So even if you force someone to explore the world and go like make a game, it's always going to be a different game than the guy that does the same exact exploration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You send 2 people to Rome, tell them to make a game. 2 different games. You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, that's kind of why game jams are so successful. You send out a prompt, but people are going to interpret it differently.
So when you say, is it important that someone lives a full life? I think, yeah. But I also think, no. It's 50-50. Just live a good life. You'll make a good game. You know what I mean?
Cool. Thank you for the insight.
Speaking of that, there's actually a game that came up on my radar recently. It's called Coral Life or something.
Coral Life?
Yeah.
Or Corral Life, like
no,
horses.
it's literally coral.
Okay.
So
like
it's like
polyps?
or Coral Town. I don't know what it's really called, but it was a game on Kickstarter and got funded immediately.
Is it a board game or a?
No,
game?
so it's a video game, and this is a very important because Bora asked me about this game recently, and he just brought it to my attention and asked me what I thought. And it kind of relates to this question of what do you think of like having experience before you make a game. So this game is a Stardew Valley clone, almost. It's hard to call it a clone because it's like...
Because it's about coral?
Yeah, it's got its own like little personality. You're still a farmer, but now you're on a tropical island. So now you got tropical fruits, tropical vegetables, tropical vibes, and then you have a coral. You know what I mean?
Like a coral farm?
A coral reef.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? To explore, to harvest, to help with your farming, and I think that's great. And I think that's cool and interesting, but I hate it. And it's because I think that genre is fundamentally flawed.
Of Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
Well, I never played Stardew Valley. Can you explain why it's flawed fundamentally somehow? The
problem I have with them is that Stardew Valley was perfect for what it was, and I think everybody should stop from Stardew Valley. Because Stardew Valley is the epitome of what all the nostalgia is. You know what I mean? You're cute in a small town, you're growing up with all these little people, you're being a farmer, you can automate, you get to go through this cute little storyline about saving the world, and bam, that's the story. The exact same thing is going to happen in Coral. Except for this time, it has a little skin on it. You know what I mean?
I think saying people should stop and that Stardew is as good as it's going to get, that's unfair. Like, for example, like, people didn't write Lord of the Rings and then be like, okay, we're done with the entire fantasy genre. It's like, it's a building block. I think reskinning it's unfair, and you shouldn't be doing that, but... Yeah. I don't know. I think there's still potential.
I think it's just like... I'm still gonna buy the game. I'm still gonna support it. I still think it's gonna be a great game. I'm just kind of like, I know when I'm gonna play it.
Oh god, this is gonna be like Bug Fabled 2.0, isn't it?
Yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm always gonna think like, man, what potential and what direction this game could have went in, and it just kind of went in like what everybody went in. It just has Coral, and I'm starting to feel a little bit like, man, if only these people like really went out and learned about farming and got that real world experience, you know what I mean? Talk to farmers, like, how are they farming today? You know what I mean? And going like, try to implement that into a game, or and not just farming simulator.
One step further, they could have like looked into like what's happening to coral reefs right now and like taken that research into account when putting together a game.
I think they maybe did some I'm like, it's hard for me to judge because I haven't played the game yet.
That's
so
fair.
We're just making assumptions.
That's fair.
And we could all be completely wrong. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is like, I wish it wasn't built off of a nostalgia system, but more off of a truth system of like what's actually happening in the world. Okay. You know what I mean? And then introducing it into the video game sense. Kind of merging these two ideas, you know?
Like cutesy farming in reality.
Yeah. I'm just really tired.
Oh god, that has so much horrible potential.
I'm just tired of the nostalgia trip. You know what I mean? Of like, oh, this is what a farming thing is. Your crops die in summer. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, strawberries.
Thank
you know what I mean? Like, greenhouse, that's the latest innovation of, you know what I mean? Stardew Valley. Iridium sprinklers. They automatically turn on for you in the morning. Come on, they do way more cooler stuff than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I believe, like, farmers can do crazier stuff. And then think of, like...
Have you ever heard of the ginseng wars and that have been happening? Dude, there's so much nutty stuff going around produce you see in your everyday, like, food store, you know?
Yeah. I just have a little bit of a problem with it. And actually, it's really important to me because that's the game demo that I'm going to make you.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a game that innovates that formula for me, in my opinion.
You better go start talking to farmers then. I can introduce you.
Yeah. I really wanted to, like, do my research, kind of like... So if you guys don't know, basically, I have to make a game in a year. Not necessarily a game, but like a little demo or a play testable idea in a video game form. Because I had 4 months to do board games, and the rest of the months I have to do this little game demo. So one of those months I'm going to be researching a lot of farming, because one of the games I want to do was that like renew how the farming is, like figure out how new farming affects things, and like not just shoving everything in a shipping bin and just getting paid for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not.
I really
exactly
wanted to explore that because, like, I remember reading an article, right, of a small town farmer here in Santa Cruz, right? They're having trouble selling their crops, you know what I mean? And I was like, how is that even possible, you know, to be a farmer and feel bad about the crops that you're growing not going to people, because your job is to feed people.
Yeah, and that's just wasted
that
resources.
Food just doesn't get to the people.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. How come I don't feel that in a video game?
Yeah.
You know? Like, here I am, farmer, close my eyes and I make money. You know what I mean?
Well, you're asking for like the distribution side of farming.
Yeah, but it's just everything about farming. How complex it is.
Well, yeah, it's the biggest industry in the United States. Like, and it's huge.
And in games like this, they simplify it so fast. You know what I mean? Because of nostalgia. Because that's how it was. That's how that game was created.
Maybe it's not just nostalgia, though. I mean, there's so much to it that maybe they don't want to overcomplicate the game.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I feel like you can make a game still simplified, but have these nuances so you actually can feel like a farmer. You know what I mean? Like... I still, you know, don't get me wrong, I still want to have my fantasy world.
Would you have them play as, like, Monsanto or something? Like, just taking over mass lands and growing corn?
No.
Start doing GMO research.
But you know what I mean?
Something?
Like, I still want to feel like everybody else, right? Like, I want to feel the fantasy. I want to, like, meet the beautiful harvest goddess, give her a little kiss, fall in love in a small town, you know, save the world. You know what I mean? I still want to do all these fantasy things, but add a little realism to this fake farming that's in the game. Yeah. And I think that's That's how I feel
I'd
about
be
that.
down. I think you should definitely spread out and look at farming in other countries then,
Well,
too.
I think what really inspired me was just reading those articles. Like,
Yeah.
I've been, this is an example of the real world experiences. Like, I've been, like, trying to go to farmers markets here in Santa Cruz, but also in San Diego, I was always looking for a farmers market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How, like, remember hunting, like, in San Diego, we hunted all these amazing, like, fish stores, beef stores, produce stores, and they took forever to find.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what a journey. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I want people to go through a journey when they go through the farming. Like,
yeah.
So, that's it. A little tidbit of a future game I'm thinking about.
Can I pitch a game idea to you?
Go ahead.
About farming?
Okay, go ahead.
I think if you make a farming game, you should just make it about trying to find rhubarb in a grocery store. Literally, I think it'd be the best game ever.
Rhubarb in a grocery store.
You know how much I went to, like what, 17 different stores looking for fresh rhubarb in San Diego? God damn.
Yeah.
Talk about supply and demand, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe go into that in your farming game.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of things you can do about it. And I really want to make something a little bit more authentic, I think is what I'm just trying to say.
Cool.
It's not that those formulas are wrong. Like, I'm telling you, those formulas built an empire.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking to break a little bread off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take a little bit of it and just really try to change it up with what's new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, still need to play a lot more farming games.
Oh God.
All right, I think that's gonna do it. Thanks for joining me, Jen.
Yeah, anytime, buddy.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.